Namato Ratthapala. May I pay homage to Triple Gem, the Buddha, Dhamma and the Sangha. My respect goes to my parents and my teachers. Hello, good evening. So today is Saturday the 11th of July. This is Achan Sujan from Varapunya Meditation Center, Aberdeen in Scotland. As usual, I'm here tonight to be with you all and share some of the teachings. And thank you everyone for those who are listening regularly from locally and internationally. So today is another day that it's an important day in a way in Scotland, because now we can go out and about, and we also can meet up to a couple of houses, and also in the worship places we are allowed to have small congregations with the mindful of social distance and of spread of a virus. So hand sanitizing and washing the hands wherever you are. And one more thing that I would like to add is that it's been a long debate going on whether to use a mask or not, and some places it's become a mandatory, others become a compulsory. And I gathered that using a mask is mandatory in public places, which we have already distributed around 500 masks. We have started distributing these masks 2 months ago, and continue distributing and even delivering and sending to different houses those who have requested. So all the 500 masks, probably around 20 or 30 left at the center to use for those who are coming to the center and need it. We're also planning to have more masks, so we'll plan it shortly, in a few days to get more on it, and then we'll provide for the communities. And yesterday we have also donated some food, tin foods and other items, toiletries, to the food bank, just to help the community, because at this time I gather that the shortage of food is a lot, and so as a result, from the temple, on behalf of the temple, we also send some food for the food banks. Little help, every little help counts during this difficult times, right? So I believe that every one of us are helping in different ways, and even just staying at home is a form of helping too during this time. But now enough is enough. Yeah? So, and I went to the town, city, Aberdeen, and I realized that a big marquee has been planted around the streets, especially the hotels and also the beer garden, so people can go and stay and use the places for the out and about and eat out. So it's a massive tents been planted around, so it's quite a different view, and everywhere all the roads been replanned with the cycling paths and one-way system and so forth. Quite a number of things been changed in the city just to tackle with it. So it says everything is on purpose for something. Nothing comes free. And now, since this coronavirus came, there have been so many positive things took place, and even each individuals, those who are in the past probably not able to find what it is, now they have found themselves their new skills. Meanwhile, we can see so-called new norms being implemented, or have to learn to survive or to use these new norms in this new society. And these all has got a cause for it, and that cause is simply the coronavirus. And because of the coronavirus, we have to change so many lifestyles, right? So if there is no coronavirus, then our life would be much different, and it will be same as it was, or maybe didn't see how valuable our life is. And because of the coronavirus, we have seen that how valuable our life is, and also we have found so many new talents within us. So we have to thank Corona in a way. So this coronavirus, okay, but although there are so many other countries still struggling and fighting to minimize the spread, but still see how far it goes. But in Scotland now, become more clearer and getting more freedom. But that having said so, it's not that free from the virus yet. So we need to be very mindful of that virus wherever we go, whatever we do. If possible, try to save ourselves at all the time. Stay safe. And that's the reason today I'm bringing this, that the coronavirus is the cause for all these new norms and all the changes, and how desperately we were kind of counting the time, counting the days to be free. So Corona was the cause, and the result is new norms. And so far, previous week and the previous days, I've been talking about the suffering, right? And how the suffering is, and how the suffering plays in us. And now we can see that the coronavirus is a problem, is a suffering, and yet we have gone through it, and we have learned new things to adapt and adjust in these new norms. Human nature is such that we are very clever in terms of adapting and adjusting in different situations when we really necessary. Couple of days or a week it will be difficult, and it will be so many concerns and complaints and worries and fears, and yet we grow along with it, along with this problem, and finally we will be able to adjust and adapting new norms in our day-to-day life. So this is a human capability, how clever humans are. And that's the reason why humans will be living for a long time and hard to be extinct compared to any other animals, those who are already extinct, due to unable to adapt the different problems they had to face. So problem always makes us stronger, and find ways to deal with it, and find ways to survive in a difficult state, difficult moments, difficult times. So that is the reason why Buddha was always talking about the problem, which encouraged us to do more things, to good things, and find ways to deal with that. In a way, it stimulates some sort of hormones in human beings that to find ways to survive, or survival instinct automatically clicks in and find ways to deal with that. So that's why there is a saying, a flight or fly, flight or fight. and it's up to us. How do we deal with that, right? So this coronavirus has brought a lot of good things to all of us, and also understanding the value of us too, right? So thank you for all the comments, and that also encouraged me too. If there is no coronavirus, I would not have this courage to come online and give a teachings and leading you all and also answering. But because of the coronavirus, it has given me this opportunity and encouragement and also courage to be on Facebook and giving a talk. And meanwhile, if there's no coronavirus, then you will not be spending time probably listening the talks like a Dhamma talks. You would have think of your own careers and busy in your business and busy in your office works and busy in your life. But this has given a lot of opportunity to learn, a lot of opportunity to ponder and study more and more. So we should thank it, although how depressing and how disliking, and yet it has given us a lot of positive things. So we can think of it. During this time, how did you survive? During this time, what form of spirituality you think is the best for you, or what was your day-to-day routines, and how did you manage to come through, and how did you change, or did you join with any so-called faith or spiritual groups during this time? These are some sort of questions that we can ask, and how did we come through with it. A few days ago, I was talking to one of the patients who had the coronavirus and who was suffered greatly, and he had a really hard time going through. And I was told that his friend also got it, and his friend was a Muslim. He believes in Islam, and after he had a trouble with this coronavirus, so he rang to the doctor, and then after discussing with the doctor advised him to practice breathing meditation. So his perception was that breathing meditation, or so-called meditation, belongs to Buddhism. It's not belongs to the Islam. And as a result, he was really disappointed by the doctor's advice. And he even felt like not right. And after a few days, 2 or 3 days later, the doctor rang back again to check whether he is getting any progress or not in this coronavirus. And I was told that he refused to talk to the doctor for first time. And then because his condition wasn't getting any better, he spoke with the doctor again. Right? So sometimes the preconcept that holding on to also causes the trouble, despite of how difficult they are going through. And this is also reflects that what sort of spirituality did you go through or used. I have heard that since the coronavirus, significant number of people joined on the online services for the spiritual comfort, and many churches were also find very surprised to see that so many numbers, like from 10 normally before the coronavirus, 10 people attending the church, but after the coronavirus, people joined online services up to the 200 and 300, even 500 people, reaching out so much. So which is quite interesting. And these are all based on simple one cause, that is the epidemic of this coronavirus. So without the coronavirus, these are impossible to happen, right? There are goods and bads, but bad we don't have to think of anymore now. Think of the good things that brought by it. So anything that happens, it has a cause. Nothing happens without the cause. We can look at everything around us. Everything happens because of the cause. It has an origin, how it is originated. And the Buddha's teachings is that understanding that all the problems that we are facing, all the suffering that we are facing, simply there is a cause for it. And that cause, Buddha is talking that not knowing what should be known. And as a result of that, we crave so-called tanha. So we crave. And tanha is the root cause of all the problems according to the Buddhism. And this tanha again translates into the thirst, which never fulfills. Or disappointment is the reason behind all the troubles. Disappointment, like even the coronavirus, if you look at it, all our lifestyle change because of the coronavirus. We were so disappointed, and as a result of that, we have to isolate ourselves or living at home and social distance and so many guidelines and measures that we have to follow. And we are disappointed by it. So tanha is a thirst, or the disappointment of not happening or happening as we do not wish. And tanha is the main root cause of our existence too. And now here tanha can see in a very, very different forms and different levels of tanha in Buddhism. There is a tanha in three types of a tanha. It's called a kama tanha, bhava tanha, vibhava tanha. And there is a categories in a form of 6 senses based tanha arising, like an eye sees object, then that arose the rupa tanha, craving for the beautiful sights or craving for the beautiful sounds. And again, further on is so known as the elements, 18 elements, and that's also there is also a thirst of a tanha. And that's again the 18 tanhas multiplied by 3 in the past, present and the future, that comes into the 108 tanhas. So there are so many tanha, 108. In the past, I was always wondering why the mala beads, the meditation beads, has got it to 108 beads. And there are so many other explanations for that. And later, when I was reading these about the tanhas, then I come to understand that 108 is the tanha, the thirst, the disappointment, or the main root cause of all the problems that we have to take away one after another, through the realization. And that's also part of the tanha again. And there is a tanha again in the dependent origination, which is based on the sensation, which is based on the feeling, so-called tanha pachaya, vedana pachaya tanha. Yeah? So feeling is the condition to arise the tanha, the thirst, the craving, the grasping or thirst, the disappointment that arises. And that's why it's become the main root cause of the whole system in the dependent origination. So that's why in dependent origination it says that the main root cause of avidya, or the ignorance, is not knowing what should be known about the Vedana, and because of not knowing the Vedana, the feelings, that conditions to arise that pleasant feeling and unpleasant feeling or neutral feeling. So grasping, delighting, entertaining. And that's how the whole Paticca Samuppada begins. And this tanha itself again is a synonym to the lust, or synonym to the lova and a moha. And this is the main root cause of the suffering, of the problems that we have to come back again and again. So over this couple of days in the future, I will be talking on this second noble truth and try to give you different ways and different aspects of it to let you understand what is this tanha means and why it is so important to know, and why we should be eliminating so-called pahatabba dhamma. We have to eliminate it. Pahatabbanti me dhamma. So one has to eliminate this tanha. And then once we have fully eliminated this tanha, then it's become pahinanti me. So fully eradicated, eliminated. So that's why the tanha is something, that thirst which never fulfill in your consumption. And that's how we always want to have more and more and more, continuously wanting, never ending of it. Let's say eating, or let's say sex, or wanting to get more, wanting to accumulate more. And it's not just the material things, but also the power, fame, gain, and these things. So never-ending desire, and that is the tanha. There is a famously, like a joke told in Thailand some times ago. That's tanha. It means tan means stop. Ha means search. So things already blocking. Things already blocking you to be enlightened, why you are searching for, and this searching will never end. And so this raga, also the lust, also the equivalent with the tanha, that will never fulfill. It will continue wanting after another. Doesn't matter how many times you eat, you're always wanting to eat it. And there is a saying that doesn't matter how many times you have sexual intercourse, you will never be satisfied. The more you have it, the more you want it. And same with this wealth. The more you have it, the more you want it. The more you have it, the more you become stingy, like that. So you're attached to it, and the craving, it never ends. That's why Buddha used the simile. It's like a river, never ends. The desire is never ends. And these teachings of the tanha, if we are not practicing, it's very difficult to see how that links, because tanha is condition arose because of the vedana, the feelings. And if this feeling again arises because the six senses is existence there. Six senses comes to contact with the outer six sense objects. So there is a contact. Without the contact, there is no feeling, and the feeling, the contact again, because there is a six senses, and these six senses again is there simply because we have a mind and a body. And though it comes, it goes back into the root level of how this arises. The very moment when you are practicing meditation, what happens is, first you begin to know about the feelings, and then gradually you will understand how this feeling arises, and then you will go back again. Why do we have to control our senses? That's why it's called Chakkhuna Samvaro Sadhu Sadhu Sotena Samvaro. Right? So why do we have to control these senses? So it goes back on until then. Once we have fully understood this tanha, the second root cause will be eliminated. The very moment when we do not entertain, so it's called Nandi Raga Sahagatang. The very moment this Nandi Raga Sahagatang, we are entertaining with this, with lust on these things, rather than entertaining, we withdraw ourselves. That very moment we will be able to end all the sufferings, and that's the path leading to the liberation. So that's why it is said there is a suffering which has got the cause, right? And this cause need to eliminate. So thank you very much for tonight. I end here as a background, or giving you a ground to understand this second noble truth, and further in the coming days I will be focusing on that. I end here. In a few minutes time we will do the chanting and the guided meditation. You're most welcome to join with us, and if not, we'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 for the talk and chanting and guided meditation. Remind you that tonight after the meditation, half an hour meditation, I will be staying around half an hour to answer your questions on meditation and, if possible, Buddhism. So until then, thank you very much for watching and listening and all the comments, and may you be blessed, and shortly we'll see you. If not, then see you tomorrow. Thank you.